Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of our artist virtual exhibit series. We are so honored to have Kelly Henkels' artwork and inspiration in our gallery in Marshall, Minnesota. I'm Nicole. I'm with the Southwest Minnesota Arts Council, and we host a gallery in Marshall at 509 West Main Street in Marshall. So come visit us Monday through Friday. We're open pretty much regular hours, 9 to 12, and then 1 to 4. And so Kelly's work, Kelly, our artist, is with us tonight. She can give a little wave. Awesome. And Kelly's work is on display now through December 19th. So she has had a large amount of people go through. We had a really rich and exciting reception for her in person in early November already. And there have been a lot of pieces that have been snapped up for people to give as gifts because it is the season. So if you're interested in adding a few more gifts, please stop in the office. You can purchase those and then they will be available on the 19th. That's why we are closing the exhibit maybe just a few days early before the holiday happens. So we're here tonight. We have Kelly. We are going to look at a video that Crystal from our staff has created about the gallery of the entire exhibit, of which you will see as you watch this, has a lot of pieces. They are all stunning, and the video will go basically around every wall of the exhibit. So you will have a virtual tour of what is on show. But I wanted to just take a minute to tell you a little bit about Kelly first. Kelly is from Worthington, and she received a SMOC Quick Support for Artists grant in 2024 to create abstract wall hangings and 3D creatures by exploring sewing, hand stitching, embroidery, fabric paints, jelly printing, felting, different textures of fabrics, and many other supplies. The exhibit, if you come see it in person, also includes a special art activity that is still available and will be available through the 19th for you to make your own piece of art. And if you wish, you can hang it amongst Kelly's wondrous art pieces and include yourself in her show. I'm going to read you the bio that Kelly shared with us. So this is written by her. Hello, my name is Kelly Henkels. I'm from Worthington. For as long as I can remember, I've been creating. The what is constantly changing. I love to create a variety of different types of art, ranging from printmaking to painting and all the way to sewing. It's safe to say I don't like to stick to just one thing. My art journey has taken me to many different places, including getting an art education degree, teaching art classes, multiple art shows, including 3 of my own, learning techniques from all kinds of mediums of art, and exploring my own personal art style. I love making interesting, unconventional art. I love the freedom art gives me, being able to follow the creative process with whatever comes to mind without overthinking it. It's truly my biggest passion in life, and it is a privilege to be able to share it publicly in such a substantial way. So welcome, Kelly, and welcome, whether you're on with us live or whether you're watching this recording after the fact, we're happy to have you here. A little bit of an agenda. So I've just shared a little bit about who we're celebrating tonight. And next up, we're going to watch that video that I mentioned, which is, I'll give you a heads up, it's about 10 minutes long because there are so many wonderful pieces. And then after that, we're going to open it up. We'll hear from Kelly, and then you can unmic yourself and ask Kelly any questions you'd like about her work. And then we will, as I said, wrap it up and edit this video and put it on our website. So that's kind of how we're going to run the show tonight. So thanks again. I think at this point now I'm handing it over to Crystal to go ahead and run that gallery tour video. welcome back. That was a great little journey. Thanks, Krista, also for including the additional pieces that the public has made to include in the gallery. It's fun to see how people have been so inspired by your work, Kelly. So, Kelly, tell us a little bit about, other than your bio, how you got started in art and maybe where you're at now.
Um, well, first of all, thanks for the video. It was very nice. And it was fun seeing everybody's in there too, everybody's artwork. Um, I've kind of always liked art, mostly started out with drawing, like scribbling and doodling on everything in school and all that stuff. And then I've always liked every different medium I've tried. I love exploring, learning new things. And then I think I kind of got into my style in my printmaking class in college. So that kind of got me going on the style I like. And then I just take as many classes as I can to learn stuff. And then I used to teach more classes kind of through our community ed programs and then the senior center, but I haven't been doing that as much very often. So maybe someday I'll get back into that. And then I've just been trying to create as much as I can now that I have a job that gives me more freedom to do or more time to do it outside of work. And then I don't know. Right now I'm just doing artwork, whatever comes to mind. I like doing clay too, the polymer clay. I love doing that a lot. And then going to the clay studio in Spirit Lake a lot and doing, they have the open studio there where you can just buy the clay and then they do the firing and glazing there too. So I've been doing that a lot. And then I don't know what else.
Well, it's a lot. That's
Okay.
that's enough for
Okay.
enough different kinds of works that you're doing all at once.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I guess
Yes.
I didn't know that you worked with clay as well.
Yeah. Well, I did it in college and then this past summer or before summer, I learned that there was open studio in Spirit Lake where you could just come. It's Thursdays and Saturdays. You just have to buy the clay, like a $30, $35, and then you get to do all the firing and glazing there for a grant, I think. So
Wow,
I've really
that's
enjoyed that. Yeah, so I'm making um like plates and bowls and that stuff for my house that are a little weird, like with octopus tentacles around them. So some unique dishware.
how about
Yeah.
color? Do they have glazes in the vibrant colors that you like?
They do, but I think I'm gonna go to Sioux Falls and buy us because they just have kind of whatever they bought with the grant available, but I want some more crazy colors or some that change when you fire them. So that's my goal for that. And then I've been making a lot of plant, like little mushrooms to go with my plants and creatures to spice up my plants a little bit. Yeah.
I love it. Your brain and your dreams must be very full.
Weird.
Not weird, full.
Well, yeah. Yes, I have lots of ideas always coming up in my head of stuff to do. So it's fun, keeps me busy.
Well, it's been really fun to experience every day at the office. So we're just
Oh,
very
thank you.
honored and glad to have you there. How about from our friends on the call? Anyone have a question they want to jump in on for Kelly?
I'll
Well, now
ask
that,
a question.
oh,
How did you come up with all of your names for the pieces?
Okay, so by the time it was ready for my art show, I was exhausted and tired. So I recruited my family to help me. So we took like different topics, trying to think of like places, food, weird words. So I came up with like 5 or 6 different topics everybody had to pick a word, write them down in a piece of paper, and then we cut them in half. And then I just kind of picked and choose which ones go together. So the first part is one word, and the second part is the end of another word, and we just put them together, come up with some I had to like add letters or something because they didn't really go together. But
How
so if
fun.
you look at it, you'll kind of be like, oh, this was Worthington cut into two. So Eatonton is on a different word. So
I love it. Related to that, I used one of your titles, Scorn Aid. My partner was very surly one morning over coffee, and I'm like, "Are you drinking Scorn Aid this morning?" So, your titles may become American lingo pretty soon.
Yeah. That was probably Powerade or something with score. I don't know what would be the first one. Yeah. Yeah. So it was a fun thing for us to do together. And it made my naming them a lot easier too. So
Kelly, after hearing you talk about your um, plates and things, the clay stuff you're making, now I want to see that stuff too. Do you like chronicle any of your art stuff on social media or website or anything like that?
I haven't, I need to be better on that. I was going to post something, but I do have my Instagram that I usually post stuff. I just haven't been very good. I don't, are we friends on Instagram?
I honestly don't remember. We might
I
not
don't
be, but I'm
either.
gonna look for you.
My uh, my name, I think, is HENKEK1. I do have a private account, but my goal is to do an artist account where I can just have it mainly my artwork available. So
Well, I
that's one of
support you doing that.
my
I would love
next
to follow an art
goals.
account.
Yeah. And then that'll
um,
motivate me to post more too. So
yeah, yep. And then the other question I had was about your kind of process on like when you have the pieces that are ink and acrylic. Um, I assume you do the acrylic first and then the ink on top. But how much like kind of structure do you have with that? Like, do you just kind of put paint on and then see what comes out, or what's
for
the
the ones
process?
with the lines,
Yeah,
like,
with the
or
color and then a lot of the black line work on top of them, kind of.
yeah. So the color, well, there's two different ones. The ones were thicker, the thicker lines. Trying to think.
I
And
mean, you
so
can
that one
answer
I
for
just
either.
kind of, what? Okay. For the one with the thicker ink line or the acrylic paint line. So both of them, I guess I just start off with like whatever, I pick out 3 or 4 colors that I want to go together. Just kind of whatever my brain comes up with, like do some X's or whatever. And then some of them I add water. So I do the acrylic and then I add a wet brush. So some of them drip down. So and I kind of just turn the canvas every so often.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thicker ones, I just do whatever comes to my head again. Like I just draw. And I've been trying to work at that, just like not plan stuff out, just whatever comes to me and sketch. And then the other one I do the thinner ink where I just follow the different shapes in the paint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just kind of looking at the different values of color and paint and then just doing outlines on all of them. So
Do you do you have a structure of like timing when you work on art? Like, do you work on it the same time every day, or do you just work on it when you have time, type of thing?
yeah, when I have time,
Yeah.
like with work and kids, it's or when I have a show coming up, then it's
Mm-hmm.
but I usually do it like the base for the acrylic. I do like 4 or 5 of them, set them aside, and then if something comes to me, then I do the second layer. So I'm very like ADD on my artwork. I'll do the base on a group, set them aside, and then if something comes to me, then I'll go back to work on them, and then I'll just start a new project.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually have a bunch of projects going on at one time. I'm all over the place, hence the name.
I was also going to ask about so many of your pieces feature eyes. Is
Yeah.
there a story with that?
Um, no, I'm just drawn to eyes, and I feel like they're detailed. They can be detailed and not detailed. For the past 3 years, I've been doing eyes and a lot of tentacles. That seems to be my go-to until I get bored of them, and then I'll go to something else. But I think since I've been doing creatures, I focused on eyes. My last show was all about creatures, so it kind of got me into that. But I just like eyes.
So a lot of your work is with fibers.
Yeah.
Um, I'm curious. I know probably the answer to this is you will employ sewing machine if you want to, but also use hand sewing. Um, is there any other, I mean, what is the answer to that, I guess? Do you use both
Oh, hand sewing and
sewing machine?
yeah, sewing machine just to put the items together, and then if I want to do any details, I go in with the hand stitching, or if I want to
Yeah,
add beading, then I do the hand stitching.
yeah.
Then I like to add the fiber, the can't think of it now, felting too,
Mm,
to get some more
yeah.
texture in there. So I really like that.
In the reception photos, I noticed you had a sweatshirt, I think that you must have uh, decorated yourself or put your own artwork on there. Do you do that fairly often?
It's something I've started doing. Like I want to make more wearable art. And then I did that the night before, just did the felting, but I'd also like to try going over it with the sewing machine too and add more texture. So that'll happen sometime soon. But that's what I'm getting more into is just adding art on my clothes. And then say I have a hole in my sweater, you can easily felt something on there too. So helps repurpose clothes too.
So with all of your projects you were talking about like starting some and then going to other ones and stuff, do you have what kind of space do you have to work on your art? Do you have any kind of studio space or how do you fit all of your pieces kind of in the process stages?
For right now, I have like my whole upstairs. That's kind of, but I do like working here in the living room just because it's cozier. But I
Mm-hmm.
have a whole studio upstairs where I have each section, like a painting section, a sewing section. So that's been nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was prepping for the art show, I brought it to my parents' house to like kind of set it all out so it wasn't overwhelming my space and I could get everything in order. So, yeah.
I'm glad you have a space to at least have some of that stuff.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, it makes such a difference to be able to just leave things and come back and not have to pack everything up again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that helps out a lot.
Do you have a favorite in the show? A favorite piece that you can recall?
Um, I don't. So I like my layered felt guys. I did those
Mhm.
with a while back, but I really like them. I don't know. There's so many.
Yeah.
I like the two rectangle eye ones with the fabric and felting and then there's the pink, green, black and white one. I just really like the colors in that one too. Yeah, there's quite a few that I like, but those would be my favorite, I think.
You think a runway show with some wearable art is in your future?
Maybe. I
That would
think
be really fun.
that would be. I think my main goal with that too is just to like maybe like get other people to want to do it too, so it's more like common and maybe do some classes or something where you do felting on clothes or painting, which I've been experimenting with on how to get it to stay. after you wash it. So, and then stitching also, doing like embroidery on clothes too. So that'll be my next exploration.
Do you have a setup for your printmaking at home?
Um, I have supplies. I just use one of my tables. So I like to do jelly printing a lot. That's what I've been doing. But I also have some other printing. I just use like a noodle maker. I don't know if it's called the noodle press type thing, just to do like scratching on plastic, that types. And then I have the carving tools. So I've just, yeah, mostly been doing jelly printing, but I want to get back into more and doing them on fabric.
You've mentioned a couple times teaching classes. And so that is awesome. And I wanted to plug the upcoming in May of
Oh
2026.
yeah.
Kelly's going to teach a class at our annual Smock Artist Retreat, and it's held in Tyler at a very historic Danish folk school every year called Danabode. So if anybody's watching this and is interested, please look for Smock Communications on how to register for that day and a half event and register for Kelly's class.
Yes. I've already started saving random objects, so I'm getting ready.
Great. Otherwise, any final thoughts, Kelly, before we wrap up tonight?
Um, Thanks for everybody to help put it on. And then thanks for everybody who came and supported the show and has seen it since the opening. It's been fun.
Great. Well, you've still got time. If you're watching this after the fact, it is December 4th, and you have 15 days to get to see Kelly's show, 15 business days. We're open Monday through Friday until December 19th is when her show closes at 4 o'clock on December 19th. I wouldn't miss this one. I would get to Marshall and see her show in person. It is so vibrant and so whimsical, and it's just so awesome. So please come and see her show and support her. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to sign off, and we'll see you in January with a virtual exhibit that showcases kilts made by Sheila Tabaka of Marshall. So look for that Scottish rendition. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you.